always one of these is upside down. At least when I want to show them off. Hello. It's another weekend. I got more mail. This is actually from Severin directly, because Severin sometimes actually shipped to Australia. Isn't it great? It was a collection of stuff, 3 of which were pre-orders for September, and it's still June. So I was very confused by that. I did have someone post on the Facebook page, this is the Lee Gammon one, showing that Negatives does have a in-memory thing for Lee, which is nice. So let's dive into what I got. I got new microphones. Oh my god, I almost forgot to mention it, even though it's the start of the video, and I'm still taking the plastic off the very first Blu-ray. So I recorded an interview the other day with a friend, Natalie, which will be coming out maybe July, hopefully. I'm editing it as I speak. The other version of me is editing right now. Hi. So I filmed a whole interview at her place. It worked well, but the audio didn't work well. My microphone, the lapel that you can vaguely, that one there that I just touched, didn't record any of the audio. And then when it did, it actually recorded from my phone for the last 20 odd minutes, which was not great, but better than nothing. Her audio all worked. There was only 2 or 3 little hiccups where it peaked a bit too much, like it would actually make a really loud noise. But I just cut those out, and you can't hear it, and it's better that way. So that was really annoying, and so I've obviously realized that the 3 I had 4 initially. These Rode lavalier microphones. So this one here, the Smart Lav, that's what I use for my recording. I've been using these since 2019. I bought 4 because I had a podcast at the time. Woof, not the shitty kind of podcast you get these days with really nice microphones and obnoxious people. Instead, it was just a bunch of teenagers who were just kicking back. Anyway, I think that's probably worse when you think about it. I had bought 4 lapel lavalier microphones from JB, $50 a pop, which to me was that's great, $50 each. I can just plug it into an iPhone or an iPod, and then I just click record on the voice memos, upload it to Google Drive, download it on my laptop. Easy peasy. I've been doing that for years. If I went out to PAX with my brother, we would go and record there to do interviews with indie developers, and I would bring the exact same equipment, an iPhone, an iPod, whatever it was that could plug in with a 3.5mm jack, whatever it is. I was going to say 35mm, that's probably quite big. And it would always work. People would find that to be amusing because it's wow, this is retro tech. It's, because iPods. There's still touchscreen iPods, but still. And so lo and behold, all these years later, I still use them. I've got an old iPhone in my pocket with this connected to it. And yeah, so 6 years down the track, and they've all basically carked it, which was inevitable. I should have realized it the other week when I was already filming other videos, and it was starting to play up, but it didn't play up enough, so I didn't worry about it, even though I literally used the audio from my camera. Should have been a dead giveaway. So after my interview with Nat, I realized my audio just didn't record at all. I've been able to make it work with room audio from the camera audio, but I had to buy a new microphone. So I bought 2 because I've got another interview coming up, and it's always good to have a spare. And I literally got to record a Cinemaniacs thing this coming weekend. So I needed tech that worked, and I wasn't going to buy a fancy $160 recorder because I'm I don't need that. I just need one of these. I can just connect it to an old iPhone, easy peasy. So anyway, I can record audio again. Yay! It didn't take me that long. It's I haven't recorded for a couple of days, and I haven't had a video come out in a week, but that's fine. I've been busy. I got deep cuts. I know, we're here to talk about physical media. I just wanted to give you an idea of what the process I have to go through when it comes to editing this kind of stuff and putting it all together. I don't just stand here and have my audio come from my microphone, because that would sound awful. And also, for more obvious background noises, rain, cars, anyone else who's in the fucking house. I'd say my dogs, but you can still pick up my dogs on the microphone. it's just better to have a lapel. Easy peasy. Makes it sound nicer. Deep Cuts. So this is a TV show, technically, by featuring films. They're like made for like TV movies by Argento, Lamberto Bava, and Luigi Cozzi. Cozzi has worked on a lot of Argento stuff. He worked on Four Flies on Grey Velvet, for example. So yeah, it has Into Darkness, Door into Darkness, which is part 1, part 2 as well. This is Night Shift, and the last disc is Argento's Nightmares. There is no alternate artwork. It's a 4-disc set. The artwork's not bad, you know. It's like that skeleton from the Minecraft poster, the game, not the movie. And it has all the features on them, again, Into Darkness, or Door into Darkness, part 1 and part 2 on 2 different discs, Night Shift, and Nightmares, which is just, and also has Giallo Argento, a 100-minute long documentary. The Night Shift has a bunch of interviews with Argento, that one is actually directed by Cozzi, so it has an interview with him as well. Taxi Drivers, an interview with director Lamberto Bava. Okay, maybe, I don't know who directed Night Shift, but still, it has them all in the one slot. I don't know why it does that. Interview of the screenwriter, interview of one of the actors, and the Into Darkness ones both have commentary tracks. They have Dario Argento, Master of Horror, which is 87 minutes long, Dario Argento, My Cinema, Part 1 and Part 2, A Streetcar Named Fear, interview of writer, director, producer Dario Argento, The Other Side of the Door, interview of writer, director Luigi Cozzi. So, yeah, it's not just the 4, like, made-for-TV episode movies, which is great, because I love made-for-TV movies. I've got a weird sweet spot for them, because it's, like, just under budget, but just fun, but also restrictions, because TV. But yeah, so I figured that's just a fun thing to get. I just hadn't gotten that, and I've got a bunch of, obviously, Argento films. I figured, why not? And I felt like, because of the price, I was like, oh, the price is a bit much, but because of all the extra stuff, all the extra documentaries, so many extra documentaries and interviews and stuff, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, why not? That's a good price for it. I can't remember what the price is, but it was a good price. I'm like, that's a good price. I did get another Argento, because I remember when they released these, I should have taken them out of the plastic before I filmed. Anyway, I got the 5 days. This is a 4K restoration. There is a UHD disc, but I didn't really care to spend 15 extra bucks for what a lot of people consider to be like one of his worst films, but I'm like, it's just his non-giallo film. He, as it even says, he had just done Four Flies on Grey Velvet, and then he went to do a non-horror thriller, and his least seen film of his career, which is set during a 5-day siege in Milan by the Austrian army. With a cynical thief who teams up with a naive young baker to survive the brutality and absurdity of the Italian Revolution. It's a whole thing, but again, 4K restoration, and I'm happy enough with that, at least for it. And it does come with a huge slew of special features, including audio commentary, an interview of Argento, an interview of Cozzi again, interview with Claudio Argento, interview with actress Carla Tato, interview with actress Luisa DeSantis, 174 years ago, interview of production manager Angelo Iacono. I think it's an Iacono, and Dario Argento, the man, the myths, and the magic author Alan Jones on the 5 days. So yeah, again, no alternate artwork, but you do get that for disc artwork, which is nice. It's the standard edition, which is perfectly feasible. Noteworthy to say that these... Okay, so the 5 days is region A, but the deep cut is all regions, which is good. So, Italian mono, with optional English subtitles. And the 5 days is the same, Italian mono with... Oh, it just says... no, Italian mono with optional English subtitles. So, yeah, region A is fine, obviously. I say obviously because most of my subscribers are American. They'd be like, yeah, well, obviously it's fine, but I'm an Australian. I have an all-region player for that exact reason. And now for the 3 Medak films. We have The Ghost of Peter Sellers. This is, again, all regions, English 5.1 and English stereo, 93 minutes long. It's actually a 2018 documentary with an audio Interview with director Peter Medak. I'm going to say Medak because I don't know if it's Medic or Medic or whatever. The ghosts inside the scrapbook. Peter Medak presents his production albums from The Ruling Class through Zorro the Gay Blade. Love Left the Masquerade. Peter Medak's Cinema of Pretenders video essay by filmmaker Daniel Creamer. Daniel Creamer. So it's just, again, simple. None of these have reversible artwork, so I'm not going to try to open the rest of them up like that because it sometimes puts it off a different course. So this is a documentary about a movie that never was finished because Peter Sellers. That's fun. I've known about this documentary for a long time. Again, it was a 2018 documentary, and I've always had the interest to watch it, so I'm very, very curious. That was my curiosity because there was only the last film I'm going to show was the one I wanted, but there was these other three just seemed really interesting just to add. These other two, I should say. The Odd Job. This one's a film, I believe it's about a guy who wants to kill himself, but then, he's a happily married man who becomes suicidal when his wife leaves him, and he's unable to complete the task himself, so he asks a strange handyman to kill him instead. But when Arthur's wife comes back, he discovers that his homicidal hire has every intention of finishing the job. Oh no. It is not named after the Bond villain. So, yeah. Again, this is, what is it? All regions, English mono, 88 minutes long. Direct introduction by the director, Peter Medak. Another interview of Peter Medak. The Odd Job Men. Zoom reunion between Sir David Jason and Peter Medak. The Unusual Work interview with writer Bernard McKenna. Producer and Odd Job interview with co-producer Mark Forstater. The Odd Batch interview with actor Richard O'Brien. The Naughty Neighbor interview with actress Carolyn Seymour. And Most Peculiar Craft interview with actor Simon Williams. Sometimes words come to my head and I don't know why. It's a 2K scan from Medak's personal 35mm print. And last but not least, the one that I really wanted, because this was actually announced the day, a year to the day, the 23rd of May, that Lee Gambon passed away. Exactly a year later, Severin announced this. Why is that important? Well, if you saw my video from like a week or two ago, I mentioned this video, Blu-ray, because this actually has more work that Lee had produced, which I don't think anyone knew about. Like, I mean, probably the people at Severin fucking knew about it because they had it, duh. But like, I don't know anyone who knew about this. So when it was announced, it's like, oh my god. But this is actually not just the worldwide Blu-ray premiere. It actually is a double feature. It comes with a limited edition bonus disc of Joan Littlewood's Sparrows Can't Sing. I like the little artwork piece there for it. So what do you have? Because you got, again, a all-region disc, but then there's another region. The Sparrows Can't Sing is Region A. Interesting. English mono, 98 minutes from 1968, again by Peter Medak. This is from a 4K scan from the original camera negative by Studio Canal. Very nice. Disc 1, which is negatives, has an audio interview of the director Peter Medak by film historian Lee Gambon. They have a tribute to him on the disc, which is very nice. Audio commentary with Video Watchdog's Tim Lucas, role-playing, interview with actor Peter McKinney, yeah, sure, I'll go with that. Glenda Jackson, Working Class Wonderland, video essay by Lee Gambon. It's not just an interview with the director, but a whole video essay, which is really nice. Positives from Negative Land. Peter Medak presents his production albums from negatives through a day in the death. Oh, from negatives through, it should say through to a day in the death of Joe Egg. The Doctor Will See You Now interview of Dr. Claire Smith, historic collection curator of the Metropolitan Police Museum, on Dr. Crippen. And of course, the second disc is Sparrows Can't Sing. I should probably actually open this. Oh yeah, I see now. 2 discs. Very nice. Again, no alternate artwork. Disc 2 comes with an audio commentary with filmmaker Daniel Creamer, with contributions from assistant director Peter Medak. So I guess Medak didn't actually direct the second film. It doesn't have any actual credits for Sparrows Can't Sing, which is a little annoying, but I guess it is a bonus feature, so they can keep the same artwork. Just get rid of that box for when they actually do a standard version. East End Manifesto, which is an interview with Joan Littlewood, biographer Peter Rankin, BFI Q&A with actors Barbara Windsor and Murray Melvin, and an interview with Murray Melvin, and location feature with film historian Richard Das. So yeah, that's the one I wanted. Of the whole haul, this is the one I actually wanted to buy. I just wanted to get the Argento ones because I'm like, well, if I'm already ordering from Severin, I've held off for like about a year or so on these other ones. I might as well get them. And by that stage, between it being announced and me buying it, people who I was following on Letterboxd actually watched the goddamn movie, at least the 5 days. So it had a pretty good reception, 3 to 3.5 stars. So I'm like, all right, well, if people actually think it's decent, then I'm like, I'll buy it, you know. And I was already, you know, getting it with this whole bundle. I just didn't want to get a UHD disc. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm really happy that Severin has released this and has a tribute to Lee, which it's just very nice. A lot of the Blu-ray labels did that. Kino and Arrow as well also did that. I think, did Imprint do one? Not to my knowledge. I don't think they have. Anyway, that's all for now. See you kids next time. I was going to say next week, but I'm like, everything's happening so slowly. It's June, and neither my Wake and Fright set from Umbrella hasn't shipped at all, and my second side stuff, which also comes out in June, of which people I know who contributed to it already got their copies, and they usually don't get their copies till like a month after I get mine. They've all gotten it, so yeah, I don't know when the shit that's coming in. That's a lot of limited editions, so some big boys, and they haven't been shipped at all. So I'm like, all right, I've got some stuff from eBay as well on Amazon, but everything's just taking a long time to ship. So anyway, that's why I figured this will be a whole video. That's why I spelled out every little special feature. Credit where credit's due. So thanks for watching. See you kids next time. I'm working on some interviews right now, so I don't know when I'll have other regularly scheduled content. God, I hate that word. So yeah, anyway, I don't know, maybe I'll take a break from making major videos because I've got stuff to do. So, ciao!